In the serene village of Amuzi, under the shadow of Mount Enendo, a doggo gave birth amidst thunderous storms. For years, she had prayed to Allah, the goddess of fertility, for a child. She sacrificed, fasted, and cried under the sacred Iroko tree. Finally, the goddess answered her prayers, though not without conditions. One fateful day, a strange old woman appeared at the riverbank, offering a doggo a calabash filled with water. "Drink this," the woman said, "and the gods will grant your desire. But beware, for the child will bear the mark of divine protection. Her beauty will draw many, but her body will guard her fiercely." A doggo drank the water, and months later, her daughter Amara was born. That night, the skies rumbled as if the heavens themselves heralded her arrival. A serpent was seen slithering into the hut before disappearing into the shadows. The midwives whispered of omens, and the priestess, Mama Is, was summoned. She declared, "This child is chosen by the gods. Her beauty will be her gift and her curse. Those who seek her with impure hearts will meet their end." A doggo raised Amara with love but kept the old woman's warning close to her heart. As the child grew, her beauty was unmatched. By the time she turned 16, her skin glowed like polished bronze, her hair cascaded in dark waves, and her eyes shone with the light of the morning sun. Men from near and far came to see her, captivated by her charm, yet strange misfortunes followed those who gazed at her with lustful hearts. One day, a young farmer named Uchenna claimed to have seen a serpent coiled around Amara in his dreams. The villagers began to whisper that she was cursed, a vessel for a spirit of vengeance. By the time Amara turned 18, her beauty had grown so extraordinary that it became both a blessing and a burden. Men could not look at her without being spellbound, and women envied her with a bitter edge. Gifts began to pile at her family's doorstep: woven cloth, carved figurines, gourds of palm wine, and even gold. Yet, Amara's family accepted none of these offerings. A doggo feared what might happen if any man came too close to her daughter. But not all men were deterred. Obinna, a wealthy merchant from the neighboring village of Nso, was known for his arrogance and audacity. When he heard of Amara's beauty, he declared, "There is no woman I cannot have." He arrived in Amuzi with a caravan of goods, determined to make her his wife. Nedi, Amara's father, initially refused the offer. Yet the merchant's persistent bribery and charm wore him down. Struggling with poverty and desperate for better fortune, he finally agreed to the union. On their wedding night, Obinna entered Amara's hut with a smug grin. He had dismissed the rumors of her curse, believing them to be mere superstition. As he approached her bed, a chill filled the room. The air grew thick, and a faint hissing sound rose from the shadows. Suddenly, a serpent emerged from the darkness, its scales glinting in the dim light, and struck. Obinna screamed, clutching at his groin as the serpent bit deep. By morning, his lifeless body was found outside the hut. The villagers were horrified. "She is cursed," they cried. "No man can survive her beauty." The news of Obinna's death spread quickly, sending shockwaves through Amuzi and beyond. The villagers, once enamored by Amara's beauty, now looked at her with fear and suspicion. "Her beauty is a trap," they whispered. "The gods have cursed her to bring ruin to men." Amara herself was distraught. She could not understand what had happened to Obinna. "Mother, what is wrong with me?" she cried, tears streaming down her face. A doggo held her close and tried to comfort her, but her own heart was heavy with guilt. She remembered the old woman's warning and the serpent that had appeared on the night of Amara's birth. As more suitors came and met similar fates, the villagers became restless. A hunter named Chijioke, emboldened by his skill with weapons, claimed he could tame the cursed beauty. But on the night he crept into her room, the serpent struck again. Chijioke's body was found the next morning, lifeless and mutilated. The deaths mounted, and the villagers demanded action. She must leave, they cried during a gathering at the village square. She brings death to all who desire her. Mama is, the village priestess, intervened. This is no ordinary curse, she said. The serpent is a guardian sent by the gods to protect her. It punishes only those with impure hearts. Cast her out, and you risk offending the spirits. Despite the warning, the villagers were adamant. They saw Amara as a danger to their community. Adogo, heartbroken, packed her daughter's belongings and sent her away. Go, my child, she said tearfully. Find a place where you can live without fear. May the gods protect you. Amara left the village of Amuzi with nothing but a small bundle of clothes and a heart weighed down by grief. She walked through the dense forest, her bare feet brushing against damp leaves as the songs of birds accompanied her solitude. At night, she rested under the canopy of trees, gazing at the stars and wondering why the gods had chosen her for such a life. Each morning, Amara would cleanse herself in the streams she passed, her reflection staring back at her with equal parts wonder and despair. She cursed her beauty, blaming it for her loneliness. What good is beauty, she muttered to herself, if it brings nothing but death and sorrow? On the third day of her journey, Amara reached a new village called Ochi. The people welcomed her with curiosity and warmth, for they knew nothing of her reputation. A kind farmer, Motsi Okoro, offered her shelter in his compound. His wife, Nkechi, was charmed by Amara's politeness and hardworking nature. "You're a blessing," Nkechi said one evening, as Amara helped grind millet. "Surely, the gods have favored you with such beauty." But trouble followed Amara wherever she went. Ochi's young men quickly took notice of her presence. They competed for her attention, showing off their skills at wrestling, hunting, and playing the ojin drum. One of them, Enduka, a cocky blacksmith, boldly declared, "No woman can resist me. I will make her mine." That night, Enduka crept into Motsi Okoro's compound, determined to claim Amara. As he slipped into her hut, the same hissing sound that had haunted Amara's past filled the air. The serpent, her silent guardian, emerged from the shadows. Enduka had no time to scream. By morning, his body lay cold near the doorway, his manhood severed. The village erupted into chaos. Motsi Okoro's family was blamed for harboring a cursed stranger. "This woman is no ordinary girl," they cried. "She brings death wherever she goes." Fearing for their safety, Motsi Okoro and his wife begged Amara to leave. Tears welled in Amara's eyes, but she understood. "Thank you for your kindness," she said, bowing her head. "I wish I could repay it in any way other than sorrow." Once again, Amara found herself on the road, her heart heavier than before. The serpent, Obidike, appeared in her dreams that night. Its voice, low and hissing, echoed in her mind. "You are not cursed, Amara," it said. "I am your protector, sent by the gods to guard your purity. Do not mourn the men who seek to exploit you, for their intentions were unworthy of you." Amara woke with a new resolve. She decided she would no longer allow herself to be used as a prize for greedy hearts. If she were to wander forever, so be it, but she would not bow to those who sought to harm her. Amara's journey led her to a bustling marketplace near the riverbank. Traders from distant villages crowded the stalls, their voices rising in a cacophony of haggling and laughter. Amid the chaos, a man with a soft voice recited poetry, drawing a small audience. His name was Chijioke, a wandering poet who traveled from village to village, sharing tales of love, loss, and heroism. Chijioke's eyes caught Amara's as she passed by. He paused mid-verse, captivated not only by her beauty but by the sadness that seemed to linger in her expression. He approached her with caution, sensing the weight she carried. "Greetings, fair one," he said with a bow. "Your face holds the beauty of the gods, yet your eyes tell a different story. What troubles you?" Amara hesitated, but something about Chijioke's gentle demeanor made her feel at ease. She told him her story, the curse, the serpent, and the trail of deaths that followed her. Chijioke listened without interruption, his brow furrowed in thought. When she finished, she expected him to recoil in fear or pity, but instead, he smiled warmly. "You are not cursed," he said. "You are protected. The gods have given you a gift, though it may seem like a burden now. Perhaps what you need is someone who sees beyond your beauty and your protector." Amara felt a flicker of hope, though doubt lingered. "You do not fear me?" she asked. "I fear nothing," Chijioke replied, "except the loss of truth in the world. If you allow me, I would like to walk with you, even if only for a while." For the first time in years, Amara felt a sense of companionship. The two traveled together, exchanging stories and songs. Chijioke's words lightened her heart, and his kindness reminded her that not all men sought to harm her. But even as she began to trust him, she feared what might happen if he ever overstepped the bounds of her protection. Amara and Chijioke walked together for weeks, traveling through forests, crossing streams, and resting under the stars. The bond between them deepened, yet Chijioke remained respectful of the invisible boundary between them. He never touched her without permission, never asked questions she wasn't ready to answer, and spoke to her with gentle honesty. Amara felt something she had never experienced before: safety. For the first time, she laughed freely, her burdens momentarily forgotten. Chijioke's poetry became her balm, his verses weaving a world where beauty wasn't a curse but a blessing to be cherished. One evening, as they camped near a quiet river, Chijioke shared a tale of a mythical bird that sang only for the pure-hearted. It is said that the bird, named Obidike, rests in a grove at the edge of the world, he said. Many have tried to capture it, but only those with no deceit in their hearts can hear its song. Amara tilted her head, curious. "Do you believe such a bird exists?" "I believe it does," Chijioke replied. "Just as I believe in you. You've endured so much, Amara, but I see your heart. You deserve more than fear and loneliness." Amara's smile faltered. "What if I told you I don't believe I can ever love without bringing harm?" Chijioke took a deep breath. "Love is not something to fear, Amara. It is something that frees us. I will prove that not all who approach you do so with selfish desires." Amara's chest tightened. She wanted to believe him, but the serpent's wrath loomed over every step of her life. One fateful night, as they rested beneath a baobab tree, the serpent Obidike appeared in Amara's dreams once again. This time, its voice was clearer, its hissing echoing through her mind. "The poet walks a dangerous line," it said. "But his heart is unlike the others. He may yet prove worthy." Amara awoke with a start, her skin clammy with sweat. She turned to see Chijioke sitting nearby, tending to the small fire they had made. He noticed her stirring and offered her a reassuring smile. "A troubled dream?" he asked. She hesitated before nodding. "The serpent spoke to me again. It spoke of you." Chijioke raised his eyebrows. "What did it say?" "That you may be different," she replied quietly. "But I don't know if I can trust myself or you." Chijioke leaned back against the tree, his face thoughtful. "Then let me prove myself," he said. "Not through grand gestures, but through patience and time. I will stay with you, Amara, until you know my heart." Moved by his words, Amara agreed. But her fear remained, a fear not of Chijioke but of the curse that had plagued her life. Would the serpent spare him, or would it strike him down as it had all the others? Amara and Chijioke's growing closeness did not go unnoticed. As they passed through a bustling village called Ogwagu, rumors of Amara's beauty spread quickly. A powerful chief, Isnwoko, heard of her and became determined to claim her for himself. He sent an emissary to offer her a place in his palace, promising wealth and protection. Amara, wary of false intentions, refused the offer outright. But Iznwoko was not a man to be denied. That night, he sent his guards to capture her. Chijioke, sensing danger, tried to defend Amara, but the guards overwhelmed him and dragged her to the chief's palace. Iznwoko, drunk with power, approached Amara in his grand hall. "You should feel honored," he said with a smirk. "Many women would envy your place here." Amara's voice was calm but resolute. "If you touch me, you will regret it." The chief laughed, dismissing her warning as empty bravado. But as he reached for her, a hissing sound filled the air. The serpent Obidike appeared, its eyes glowing with fury. Before Iznwoko could react, the serpent struck, sinking its fangs into him. The chief collapsed instantly, his lifeless body sprawled on the floor. The guards fled in terror, and Amara escaped into the night, guided by the serpent's protective presence. She found Chijioke waiting for her at the edge of the forest, his relief evident as he embraced her without hesitation. Amara and Chijioke sought refuge deep within the forest, far from prying eyes and greedy hearts. Exhausted from the ordeal, Amara broke down, confessing her fears to Chijioke. "I bring death wherever I go," she sobbed. "Even you are not safe." Chijioke cupped her face gently, his touch light as a whisper. "You are not to blame, Amara. The serpent punishes only those who seek to harm you. I would never betray you." In that moment, the serpent appeared, not in anger, but in calm observation. Its coiled body shimmered under the moonlight, and its voice echoed in both their minds. "You, poet, are the first to face me without fear. Your heart is pure, your intentions true. If you choose her, I will stand down." Amara stared at the serpent, disbelief and hope warring within her. "Do you mean it?" The serpent nodded. "But be warned. Should his heart falter, my wrath will return." Chijioke and Amara's bond deepened as they lived together in the forest. With the serpent's blessing, Amara began to believe in love again. Chijioke showed her that she was not a curse, but a woman deserving of happiness. Months later, they returned to Amuzi, where the villagers, having heard of Iznwoko's fate, welcomed Amara back with reverence. They saw her not as cursed but as chosen by the gods, a protector of purity and justice. Amara and Chijioke were wed under the sacred Iroko tree, with the serpent Obidike coiled protectively nearby. The villagers celebrated their union, and Amara's story became a legend passed down for generations, the tale of a woman whose beauty was both her gift and her strength, and the poet who proved that love could conquer even the fiercest of spirits. Thank you so much for watching this incredible tale unfold. We truly appreciate each and every one of you who tuned in to listen. If you enjoyed this story, please remember to like, share, and leave us a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, so you're always the first to know when we upload new stories. There's plenty more to come, and we can't wait to share them with you. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for more amazing stories.